Alright, and welcome to this honcast.com presentation. I'm Breaky CP Gang, to be your shotcasting host, and joining me is Phil, the Thrill of the Honcast stuff, and this is the S2 versus community casting. I'm just kidding, this is SUNSfan, James Zeno. How's it going, Zeno?
Oh, I can't be Phil. God,
sorry.
I could finally be good at Legionnaire. Like
I can be Phil. I can just make fun of people all day, but
I don't think I
can
do
Breaky
either,
for too long.
Honest.
It's too tough.
So, yeah. And we actually have to call team fights well too, so that would
peace.
fall apart.
Yeah, true.
Well, here we are back in the land of 5v5, which I'm excited to be in. Don't know about you. We do have Team Dogkaiser here, which is the kind of the 1800-ish level. Although Dogkaiser's apparently fallen out of the 1800s since we've last seen him play. Guess he's been losing a couple games here, along with Bro Diva, Gnome, and Idiger. So good to see these guys once again.
Bro.
What? Bro?
You said bro.
Bro works too. You know, whatever. I just took out a U.
This looks like a legitimate team. This is a BP game after all. I mean, this is legit.
It is. There is bans being thrown out. It's going to be a little bit more hardcore, perhaps.
It's going to be a real game.
It's going to be. That's, I think, the best way of putting it. It will be a real game here, so we get to quickly maybe go down the bans that have already been thrown out. We have Plague Rider, Devourer, Emerald Warden, and Bombardier. So
Polywog and Anaphora.
Interesting bans, I guess would be the best way to put that. Although both Polywog and Amphora are legitimate bans as well. A little bit unusual.
The
to
Devourer
see.
is weird.
Yeah.
Who
and
plays
honestly,
Devourer?
I don't think I've really seen Bombardier banned in quite a long time now. So
yeah, he's not banned very often either. I mean, Chipper and Bombardier have fallen out of favor for whatever reason. But Devourer, that one's the craziest. There's got to be somebody that plays like is what's his face? Oh, what's that guy's name? Jiggle Billy. Yeah, is he playing in this game? Because that would be like the only reason to ban that hero. But regardless, they won't have. I mean, that is another, not to get back off track here, but that's another Snowball hero. So and that's another one that was just banned. That's
I don't think we should carry that over from that last game.
And then Rampage. So
that is true.
A ton of actual good picks left. We still have Parasite on board. We have Ophelia, if anybody can actually play Ophelia. Torturer. I mean, Pebbles is also a very excellent pick, especially for the early to mid game, taking off and all that good stuff. And then for carries, Silhouette's still there, so I expect perhaps one of those aforementioned picks to be picked.
Yeah, Silhouette's actually a hero that I think we've seen banned in almost every single competitive game that I've seen recently, at least. And even though she's gotten a couple nerfs in a row as far as the patches have gone, and still a hugely powerful hero. And I just want you guys to think back to like when she first came out, and it was quote unquote balanced for like a month and a half. That hero was by far the most freaking overpowered hero in the game at that time.
Talking about Silhouette, right?
Yes, and obviously still very powerful right now. So we'll see if we see it still in the game. I think Silhouette's an enjoyable hero to watch in competitive games.
I agree. I mean, it's like a kind of a not to bring up Dota here, kind of a mix of Ursa and Morphling. But the fact that she has so much harass, like she can harass so well early game, just at level 1, if she gets the Relentless Salvo, I think it's very frustrating to go against. I'll just say that.
Yep, and right off the bat, we did have Bubbles and Hammer being picked up for Team Community. So 2 solid pickups. I really don't think that Hammerstorm, again, is a hero we've seen all that commonly in quote-unquote like high-level awesome competitive games, but still a solid hero with a very nice stun at level 1. Gets a long stun duration out of that.
Nice juicy stun.
I think
it looks like
as far as stun duration, is that the second best stun in the entire game at level 1? Is that Magnus? And speaking of
Who's
second
first?
Best, I think Magnus is first, including
all the
time.
You mean in duration?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, Magnus stun level 1 still sucks.
Let's see, it's 2 versus 2.15. But yeah, obviously it's a lot easier to hit Hammerstorm. His stun, because you just have to click on someone.
Oh, it's interesting that they pick Hammer and Magnus. You're not used to seeing that. But congratulations to Funk _ not to be confused with Funk, for winning a Cooler Master CPU cooler. Love you, whoever that is. But yeah, you guys should. There's still more prizes being given out, so just all you have to do is log on to Han and
Yeah,
pray
and a
to your
big
gods.
shout out again to MSI, Kingston, and Cooler Master for providing these various things to be given out. I'm actually happy that Funk ended up getting the cooler because that's like the one thing that I wouldn't want.
You
And
mean
I'm still,
Funk underscore?
I refuse. I wonder if that's David Funk. Do you remember David Funk from?
I do. That's
Negative
old
1 and
school.
11 on Aztec. Yeah.
That I don't remember that, but I remember of
That
him.
was like what he was basically known for since he cheated and then sucked balls on LAN. If
Oh, that's
any of
what it
you
was,
remember the old
cheated.
Counter-Strike days. I will
So
move
maybe we
on
shouldn't be
from-
congratulating him.
Yeah, maybe
It's
it's
not really
actually
him,
him. Anyways, moving back to, of course, Heroes of Newerth. Man, this is actually, I think, going to be a little bit. I think that the community team so far has picked, quote, like, when I look at their lineup so far, I'm like, these are all very serious business heroes. So I'm hoping that they're.
And a lot of trollolol on the other
Yeah.
side.
And then, of course, you have, like, Nomad, Parasite, Midas, you know.
But the thing that I do like about S2's lineup at the moment is you have basically 3 heroes that do a ton of burst damage, but you still have a little bit of late game with Nomad, and of course Electrician can just be ridiculous as long as he's soloing and not in some retarded dual
Oh,
lane or
yeah, and
whatever.
Parasite's very good against Bubbles. So that's a
Whoa.
decent matchup.
This is the weirdest lineup.
That. Huh. So I want. Let's just go down the list. We have good tri-lane support, good tri-lane support, side solo, good tri-lane support, and good tri-lane support. So basically, I'm pretty sure they should run a quad lane where they all support each other, and just have
Right.
Bubbles like roam around the other 2 lanes.
I'm gonna have
That's
to agree.
my new theory here.
They have a lot of stuns, and I mean, Engineer we don't ever see picked up very often, mainly because as we talked about, his mines kind of made him play a little bit differently than people are used to. So usually when somebody is really confident in playing Engineer and actually wants to play, I mean, the fact they don't have any carry, I'm not saying he's going to play carry, but it's the closest thing they have other than Hammerstone, I guess.
Well,
But
Engineer
I
off
expect,
and on too. Really been actually a viable hero in the competitive scene. I know a while back we saw Online Kingdom playing Engineer in the Beat It qualifiers for the DreamHack Winter event, and more recently in NASL we've seen some Engineer appearances as well. So I think it's a hero where people kind of got turned off from him or her in this case because it is the alternate avatar, just because those mines are essentially a completely useless ability to be added to the hero. But when you look at it, you still have a very nice slow and kind of decent CC ability with the turret. You have a good stun with the cake, and her ultimate is still very, very viable, for basically all parts of the game. So
yeah, I just hope to God she maxes out turret and
mines,
egg.
you mean? And
Yeah.
just sits in the river planting mines.
I honestly, if I was playing this hero seriously, I would honestly get stats over mines because it makes you play differently. It makes you play a different role than you want to play. You want to like bait people into your mines. You can use your ulti to help that out. I mean, to that degree, it synergizes a little bit, but it's just, in my opinion, just plays way differently than you want to play her normally. But
As community guys here, like, God, why are we on the stream right now? What's going on? Little do they know that, just like 45 minutes, an hour later, I don't know how long this game is, but here they are on the stream. And to quickly go over the lineups, let's see. Man, I have such a hard time reading that blue name against the green background. But anyways, holy crap.
Marivincin.
Yeah, thank God I couldn't read your name at first because I never would have even tried to step into that one, sir. Playing
Try the next
Engineer, Bonbao.
Bondao.
Playing Hammerstorm,
You can
Jafar.
pronounce all
playing,
these. You can't.
Okay, why don't you take the rest then?
Oh, Jafar. That's an easy one. That's
What?
Aladdin right there. And then we got Fam Man and hold on. Tessin okay.
Very nice.
How's that?
God, that accent was flawless.
Tessin okay.
Is that Ethiopian or?
No, it's like Asian. I need to work on that apparently. But,
Yeah, that was not.
that's too bad. But I do think if they play Hammerstorm he's going to be laning with Bubbles, which is very interesting. I feel like Hammerstorm with the addition to Mighty Swing, the buff to Mighty Swing, they're trying to push him towards more of a carry role, which he definitely can do, especially considering you can't purge off his ult anymore. I mean, ever since they changed it, you still haven't really seen him played as a carry, which doesn't really necessarily make a lot of sense. But now that the quote-unquote metagame has kind of shifted past a tri-lane only game, maybe you'll see him more often because he's good in any situation basically. I think he's gonna be hopefully play this carry this game. His Bubbles. I don't like this lane though. Bubbles.
Yeah, this is just gonna be a little bit weird. I don't know exactly what the plans are for these things, but you do have Bubbles and Hammerstorm going up against Hellbringer Midas. Again, interesting to see Hellbringer being picked up, a hero that once upon a time was like the most banned/picked hero in all of Heroes of Newerth, and really has fallen completely off the map recently. So,
well, and part of the reason for that is, and this might just be my opinion, but I'm usually right. Hellbringer, I prefer in solo lanes. And I think most people do. Dual lane, he's okay. But I feel like as far as intelligence heroes goes, he's one of the most level dependent heroes in the game. Getting that level 6 is just crucial, and
no, I would agree
really
with that.
good in lane
we saw like Beatas in NASL playing Hellbringer, I think in a tri-lane or at least a support, and really struggled. I think at one point, like 23 minutes in, had like a rev ward and a word of sight, and that was it. So it can be really hard when you don't get levels and you don't get enough tankiness as we have action at top to really get going here. We see that this is a little bit of change from the last time they played Parasite, where they didn't really gank at all. This time you see Burrow playing very aggressive and ganking
Who
right
played
off the bat.
Parasite when we cast that?
I honestly can't remember. It's been all of what, like 3 hours. But
yeah, it's been too long.
Yeah.
Memory fades.
We're like the old men of
really
gaming, I think.
I need a secretary.
That's
hot
true.
Secretary.
How awesome would it be to have everyone actually like remember like who played what in like previous games? You wouldn't have to like,
maybe I should start writing this down. You know, be my own secretary for a while until I can afford a real one. As bottom lane's getting harassed. I mean,
that's gonna happen.
What do you think about these lanes in general? I mean, bottom lane we got Midas and Hellbringer versus the Bubbles and Hammerstorm. Who do you think wins that lane as far as
it's hard?
Delay?
I really don't know. Midas doesn't really take off until level 6 where you can start to stun, but they do have some decent general magic damage there. And on the other hand, I mean, right now they're the ones getting all the last hits. Hammerstorm's not really getting going on anything. He is level 3, but yeah.
Now, I'll tell you what. Now, obviously this isn't a complete competitive game, although this is somewhat high tier for pub games at least. What I would have done if it was me, once I saw that Electrician was soloing top, and I know for a fact Witchslayer and Magnus basically can't kill Electrician. Mm-hmm. And we're going to have a gank here at top, speaking of him. Parasite is just going to come in without even a creep, not even bothering. It's going to scare them off.
That was like the most lackluster gank. It's like, yeah, we'll just do something and then run back. Yeah, no biggie. Yeah.
But if they saw that Electrician was solo top, which they should have really, seen just from the picking stages, is we're going to have more action top. Electrician initially... Nope.
No!
God.
Damn you.
Engineering.
Can I blame that on you? Because...
Yeah, that's one of my first Bloodlust kills ever missed, so I can't be too hard on myself at the end of the day. But what I'm trying to get to is Bubble should have soloed against Electrician. And I've seen this in competitive games, and I don't understand why Bubbles players don't use autocast against Electrician, because you don't get hit by the damage from absorption. So you won't die in a lane against Electrician.
Well, yeah, and
obviously,
I remember the other thing we went through is putting Bubbles up against Nomad. Apparently, basically, if you don't have autocast on, you cannot dodge his...
Right.
What is that called? What is that called? True Strike, Rush Strike, any one of those strikes. But if you do have it on autocast, it does actually block it, as we have action at bottom here, and Midas gets taken down. So as we were kind of talking about, I think really the inability of Midas to really get anything going this early in the game as far as harassment, and the nerfs recently to Hellbringer, not really making him the... I mean, before, his Death Blow is one of the better harassment spells in the entire game, and now it's okay.
Well, it's still good. The fact that it hits multiple people is the big thing. I don't think the damage decrease was that big of a deal, to be honest, but...
Yeah, meanwhile, at top, we did have some back-and-forth action there with Electrician basically going head-to-head against both Witchslayer and that Magnus. In the end, I think he's doing a good job. He's obviously still farming reasonably well, looking at the gold per minute. He's at 242, which is actually the top farmer in the game, even beating out Nomad, who's soloing mid. So for a 1v2 situation...
This is the most shocking thing.
Dog Kaiser definitely locking it down there at top, so...
Yeah. Well, actually, I was talking about... I wasn't listening to you, and I just assumed you're talking about mid.
Well, also, no, I completely agree with the fact that Engineer is dominating that lane so hard, playing against D.Va there. A little bit surprising, too, as, Engineer can put out a decent amount of damage, but doesn't really have that much to stop, that harassment from Nomad doing so much damage.
I wonder how Turret reacts
Strike.
to the Mirage Strike. It'll push it back. The question is it going to be enough to stop it from getting to you?
I sincerely doubt it, at least, but we'll just have to maybe wait and see.
And here we have Parasite just jungling. He's level 5. We're talking about a level 5 Parasite and a level 6 Electrician, essentially versus a level 4 Witch Slayer and Magnus. So definitely winning top lane pretty handily. And like you're talking about, mid, basically, Engineer is winning it, and this is just shocking to see. Although he's not going mines, so that might have something to do with it. Hint, hint. And bottom lane, we obviously had action. We have a little bit more. Nice death boil on both Bubbles and. Oh, we're gonna have action top actually. So who cares about that lane? Electric's gonna initiate onto Magnus. Is he gonna get his absorption off? Yes, he is. Is he gonna have to get the actual kill? The one auto attack should do it, and yes, that's gonna be enough. And on the other side of the coin, Witch Slayer. Where did Parasite go? Oh, he's in the catapult. Of course. Cuddly little catapult.
I have to say, there's nothing more annoying than like when you're a chipper or something trying to chase down like one last hit onto a Parasite. He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna jump into my catapult and run away for free. Peace.
Never played chipper, so I don't see how that's a real example.
I play everything, obviously.
Lies. It looks like we're gonna triple gangbang gank here at bottom. Hammerstorm is very low, so you better be careful. He's gonna use the stun and run away immediately. There's a nice ultimate from Engineer. Looks like that's gonna be enough to get the kill. And a good gank on top of Hellbringer, and wow! Midas got some balls on you. You're gonna die to your insolence? Sorry. Had to.
Yeah, he did really pay for his insolence. He was very insolent, but at what cost? At what cost?
At what cost? There's more action bottom. Looks like the Mirage Strike is going to get the kill on Hammerstorm. He was very low. I told him from Nomad going to stun Engineer. I mean, he's going to try to chase down Bubbles. Is he going to get there in time? Pop in that Sandstorm, but doesn't look like he's going to dive the bottom tower. He's going to actually initiate onto Engineer. Really don't think he does enough damage at this point in the game. He could still seriously kill Bubbles, but obviously not aware that he's there, as he does not have map hacks, or I don't think he does, since it's impossible to map hack in this game. But yeah.
Bam. Again, I think it's very shocking right now, just the level of farm for that Engineer. You can see there. I got it. As apparently, guys, this action at top here, as Electrician's gonna have to fall back, as you're screaming hatchet for some reason. And
I'm screaming hatchet? I said catch it, as in catch the action.
I see.
Just the fact that Hellbringer, I mean, not his own fault, obviously. He's not level 6 yet. Hey, it just shows, it goes to show you, there's not much he can do in a lane like this, when two heroes essentially really can't do that much at this stage of the game. So
I almost feel like people are, like, they don't want to give up on Hellbringer. They're like, no, he's still viable, he's still so good, why has nobody picked him? I'm gonna try him out this time, I'm gonna prove everyone wrong, I'm gonna be the one that turns it all around and gonna make everyone pick Hellbringer from now on. And then they get absolutely destroyed over and over again. And,
but at the end of the day, like, basically what he ends up being used as is just a glorified stun. The 1 second stun that goes through all shrunken heads, and obviously Malphus in general is great.
Man, what a great ult from Nomad there. Did not finish off the Engineer, but does take down that Witch Slayer. Now in a little bit of trouble himself, though, as he gets caught right on the edge of that Engineer ult. Does do a lot of damage to Engineer, though, to keep him back from really doing any more damage or casting spells. So
Magnus died at top to Electrician and a good old Parasite. Looks like that gank was not lackluster this time, although it was 2v1, so it could have been. Probably could have gotten away with that, so no issue there. But yeah, I mean, middle lane in that fight.
Well, this starts to go back to what we were talking about, the hero picks, though. So right now, you basically have Engineer doing work, and everyone else is struggling a little bit. Bottom lane matchup has been okay, but, Hammerstorm, oh wow, not farming well, neither is Bubbles, so, they're not really winning that matchup all that much either.
Yeah,
and Engineer can't really take off that much late game, so even though he's doing very well in mid, the rest of their team's struggling. They basically have a whole bunch of support heroes, and Bubbles, who's not getting any farm right now. Really not doing too well. So we have an ultimate coming in from Hellbringer, doing a lot of damage. Bubbles gets taken down. Now Midas gonna have to make a run for it, as a lot of TPs come in. Magnus and Engineer here to help out. We'll see. Oh, great stun coming in from this Engineer, who's playing very well. So big shout outs to Engineer so far this game. Really locking things down. Taking a look at the scores, he's 5-0 right now. The rest of his team has a combined 1 kill. And 5 deaths. So
Yeah, it's pretty. It's like Rudy, a Rudy story, you know. Never heard of this guy. He's picking the worst hero in the game, other than Doppler, who just buffed, so maybe be the worst hero in the game now. And he's raping, so it's good to see that skill can. I mean, as long as you don't get, you know, spider mines, you can actually do well with Engineer apparently. And top lane, Electrician tries to dive top tower in Lich Slayer, but the miniaturization is going to be enough for him to back up. Engineer in the meantime taking a lot of harassment from Nomad, who has enchant ghost marchers. God. Ugh.
enchanted booties.
But didn't it used to be enchanted something?
No, no.
What am I thinking of?
I have no idea.
It's no. Basically, it's the one that is always in the top of my brain too. I just didn't want to say that either.
Yeah.
But Nomad, what is it? How much money does he have? He should have enough for something. He only has 900 gold. He has to have bought something because he's.
Well, he's probably at 271, which is pretty good. I'm curious to see what his first items will be, as Nomad's one of those heroes that can really take off mid-game. Especially because you don't need, I mean, both Soul's Bulwark and Shieldbreaker are very easy items to pick up kind of early mid-game. And with those two items, he basically can run around and like 3-hit people at like 20-25 minutes. As you see, D.Va getting caught, tries to get his ult up at the last second, but does go down there to mid for the combination of Bubbles and Engineer. So, I mean, there's a little bit of back and forth, and Legion's actually up 7-5 and kills, putting some pressure up here at top with Dogcaster taking some damage. Again, he's just so tanky right now because he managed to win that 1v2 that he doesn't have to be afraid. Like, he's just like, yeah, you guys can't touch me. Get out of here.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know why I sounded so excited.
It's like chasing a dog off his lawn, you know? I'm the only dog up here at some point.
Yeah, you're talking about Shieldbreaker and Soul's Bulwark on Nomad. That's literally the only two options you have. Sometimes people go for Helm of the Black Legion, but at this point, it's not necessarily needed right away. But, I mean, he can still get it. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. But, again, Soul's Bulwark, Shieldbreaker, you have to get it or you're building him wrong is one of those things. And it's unfortunate because I'm not a big fan of sticking with cookie-cutter build. I like seeing new builds all the time. And it's just unfortunate that you just can't do anything else. Like, what, I don't know what to say. Basically, it's like the items were built specifically for that hero. And every other hero in the game. But specifically him.
Yeah. Well, we do see some pressure going on into the tower. Oh, man! The Lich Slayer getting absolutely melted. And Hellbreaker's on a lot of trouble now, too. Barely managed to get his ult off before getting taken down. The ult from Engineer really kind of locking everyone into place. And we might see Parasite. Yes, he does go down. And Nomad playing a little bit passive here. Now Midas is going to get killed, too.
Boy.
Great plays there by Engineer, at least managing to even that exchange out a little bit. You know, they ended up doing 2 for 3, so that worked out pretty well in their favor.
Pro Engineer.
Yeah, I don't really know why D.Va was quite that passive in that situation there. He could have got in and maybe helped out his team a little bit more, but... I don't know. That was a very good turnaround again. Engineer, very strong play so far, 8-0. And again, 2 kills for the rest of this team right now. So.
He's basically carrying them on his back, and he can't do it for too long.
Nope.
I mean, he's still going to be good.
His items don't work with the turret anymore, guys, so unfortunately can't throw down the...
I remember when I thought I was good. I went like 30-0 with Engineer when he was broken, and I was like, God, I'm still good at this game. And unfortunately, it just didn't turn out to be true, as we're going to have Initiation onto Electrician and missed Keg. Somehow missed it. Engineer picked up Portal Key, but Electrician just so tanky right now. He's going to get stunned, so this is going to be a triple gangbang action here. Engineer does not have his ult quite yet, so he can't really CC any, or not CC, but hold people in place. Agnes gets his ult off, going to use it on basically just Parasite, and he's going to go down regardless, but that is a good trade. Parasite from Agnes. Take that in day of the week if you're Legion. And it looks like another tower is taken down, this one mid lane, so mid tier 1 taken down. But Engineer picking up a Portal Key, that's going to be huge for Initiation. That's really a big deal, and I feel like the biggest thing for them, thing to look for, I guess, is, well, first, getting Portal Keys on everybody else that needs it, which is basically Bubbles and Magnus. So that's 3 Portal Keys you can have. Hammerstorm you can get it on, but I'd prefer for him to go more carry style build. Maybe get a little bit tanky here, but then go straight like DPS and like Shrunken Head and maybe just DPS items after
Yeah,
that.
so we'll kind of see what Nomad decides to do as far as this first item, as he do has, you know, has 2,300 gold, 2,400 gold saved up. Hoping to see him actually get an item other than Marchers at this point in the game. Cross my fingers.
What is he? I don't understand. Like, is he?
Oh, you
Oh
cheesy guy.
my god.
So, Nomad's going to the portal key route, which is, of course, the standard build for Nomad these days. Pretty sure he's following Gnome's guide on that one.
Yeah. It's,
Well, you know, it feels like it's a little bit early to just be like, GG, this game's over, although it certainly isn't S2's favor right now. I mean, they're down in kills 8-11, but up in pretty much everything else, and obviously they have the better late game team. Still a little bit surprised at the portal key.
Hey, he's having fun.
Well, even if you just want to have fun, wouldn't you have more fun running around like one-hitting people?
Yes. But
It's,
he's having fun in his own way, as he pops DD here. Now, I'm just trying to think of something good to say about the portal key. And he's going to get stunned, so that portal key unfortunately is not going to do too much for him. He's going to get absolutely destroyed. So instead of complimenting, I end up bashing at the end of the day, but hey, that's just my style. I mean, he has a lot of escape mechanisms with his Mirage Strike and his Sandstorm. Even his ulti can be considered some sort of a escape mechanism of sorts, but I don't know. I mean, it's basically going to be used for initiation.
Alright, we don't have to analyze the portal key pickup. It's obviously not something anyone should ever do.
Yeah.
Not recommended to try at home, folks, as we have initiation coming in. Integer getting a very good ult off from that Malthus, and they're going to look to be very aggressive here as well. And the Engineer's just going to have to try and book it and make a run, see if he can blink off. And unfortunately, that dot is on him, so he's not going to be able to escape in time. Gets caught out here by Parasite and that Electrician, and that is his very first death, folks. He is at 9-1 now. And just like that, you get 3 kills, lose nobody, and feeling pretty confident. All because of that portal key pickup on.
Oh wait, Nomad just use the portal key to blink to creeps and farm.
Well, there
That's
you go.
what he
You know,
picked it up for.
lets you farm a little
Got
bit
it.
better. Can blink into the forest and run away when people come and gank you.
Alright, I'm gonna try and I'm gonna fail, but I'm gonna try and not mention the portal key ever again.
Yeah, you're gonna fail. Let's be honest.
Electrician is the highest farmer in the game with 380 gold per minute. And that's
Well, yeah, kind of unfortunate for the Legion team right now, because across the board you can basically, I mean, Integer, who's playing that the Hellbringer that struggled a little bit earlier in the game, is at 191, which is still higher than every single player on the Legion team other than Engineer, who of course has a ton of money from doing very well in mid and also being 9-1 right now. But the rest of the team really
the rest
just
of them are failing.
isn't getting going, and I have a hard time seeing how the Legion team has any chance late game, as we have initiation coming in here from the Nomad using that portal key to go in on Engineer, but Engineer manages to get away, quickly throws down the TP and gets back to base. I have to say, big shout out to Blue.
Maridin-chin.
There you go.
Maridin-chin.
I have no idea who you are.
Oh,
but
which Slayer?
You
Oh,
seem like a
no.
very good player.
Oh god. Oh no. Oh god, he gets destroyed. That's not good.
Yeah,
and
speaking of
Hammerstone's
destroyed,
gonna pound away at Nomad.
Yeah, he also
as he tries
ended
to
up
run away.
picking up a kill on Integer, I believe, playing that Hellbringer. So
Oh right.
they did get something out of it as he continues to whack away. Unfortunately, can't do anything against Electrician as we have a more initiation here. Great ult again from Engineer, throwing that down and kind of locking everyone into place. There goes Electrician, and the last one left is Diva, who should be fine, of course, with that portal key. So he'll be able to get back here, maybe just kind of messing with them a little bit before blinking away.
Well, Gnome on Midas is just pushing this tower, and he's a really good lane pusher, so it's not too big of a surprise. Watch him just use all his nukes on these creeps. Basically, kill the entire wave with just 2 spells. Pretty redonkulonk. He picks up a Codex, so more trolls coming out. It looks like somebody's going to get caught in the forest. Engineer versus Nomad. Nomad's going to blink. That's Engineer's turn to blink once he gets a stun. Oh, a nice ultimate from Nomad. Pretty easy to pull off, actually, but still very nice. He gets the last auto attack just in time, but Hammerstone and Magnus not there in time. But question is, are they going to be able to get this kill? Nomad has no mana to actually do anything. He uses Space Boots, can run right into a Bubbles, and get decimated as a result. Meanwhile, the mid tower was taken out, which they're barely alive. And I mean, the fact that Midas is level 11 right now, it's really good, a really good sign, because
Yeah, did pick up a
Codex,
Codex as well, along with Parasite, so that's two of them on their team already.
I prefer, well, it doesn't matter, but I prefer to go spell shards first and then go Codex route on Midas. Personal preference, of course, because I do like the stats that
Well, I've seen a lot of people do really strange things with Mice recently, getting stuff like a Frostburn and very just different items, so it seems like at least in crazy mid-level pub games that people are trying a lot of different builds with them.
Yeah, no cookie cutter build quite yet, and that's obviously a good thing in general. And I mean, looking at Electrician, the Shaman's Edges, Helmet Black Legion, as we talked about, very tanky, and has a Blessed Orb, most likely going for, it could go Sheepstick, but most likely going to go for a Nullstone.
I don't really know if a Nullstone would be the best pickup, just because, I mean...
Witch Slayer is the counter to
Witch
Nullstone.
Slayer
You might as well
basically
call
can
him
take it off,
Nullstone counter with something like that.
Yeah, Witch Slayer, along with heroes like Armadon and some other stuff here, like Bombardier, as we have action in mid, man. Integer kind of getting caught out in the middle of nowhere again. And unfortunately, here comes Electrician. We'll see if he can get in there and not be permanently disabled. As Magnus tries to come in and help out, but gets not parasited, but Codex by Parasite.
Well, you can say parasited. That's fine.
I guess that kind of works. Got parasited.
He got parasitic on his anus. How about that? Bubble's going to use his take cover and try to get away, and he does. Oh, the ultimate still reaches him from Nomad, but he still should be okay. But in the meantime, unfortunately, Engineer gets destroyed. Witch Slayer ults the face of Nomad, actually gets the kill, so great job by him. Electrician's going to try to chase this cuddly little Bubbles, but unfortunately Bubbles is going to get away. He's going to turn his efforts towards Hammerstorm instead, though. Mana Drain from Witch Slayer coming out. Not going to be enough at this point. Engineer is there, and there's the ultimate. He needs it just on Malthus and Mr. Electrician. Electrician, though, so freaking tanky. They really need some actual, like, physical DPS to go against this guy. He's going to get another stun off. Good job by Engineer. There's a Codex from Parasite on top of Engineer, and Engineer is going to fall to the Electrician Absorption, and now he's going to turn his efforts again to Witch Slayer and just cannot get this kill for the life of him.
And he is just so tanky right now, and he doesn't even have like that crazy of items yet, so look for him to take off even more than he is right now.
Snowball?
As this game goes on. I'm not using the Snowball word anymore. How about that? And of course then there's Midas, the Eric of this game, pushing random towers while his team
sure everybody gets that reference.
I bet that absolutely zero people get that reference, but that's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
basically,
to clarify.
You better clarify.
Yeah, Eric is a friend that we played with that would literally just leave us all alone to die, and then we'd have these big team fights, and he'd just be pushing a random lane by himself.
And we'd actually win like a couple games out of like 50 just because of that. He'd actually win the game for us. And I think, it was his doing.
As you can see right now, guys, if you're in the 1400s and want to play a 5v5 and maybe try and get matched up against S2 team, knock yourself out. Hop on that queue right about now.
Well, I'm kind of afraid to cast the 1400s.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. But I think we'll just have to take a different route on that one and maybe suggest things that they could do better in the future, Be positive. We're very positive people.
I've tried to play the positive game, as you know, and I have just failed miserably. It's very, very hard for me. I will try my best.
Yeah, for those of you that are new to Mr. SUNSfan, every once in a while he'll come on and he'll be like, guess what, guys, I made a pact with my friends, and I'm going to be positive from here on out. No sarcasm, no negative comments, blah, 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 blah. And then 3 days later, literally everyone forgets about it because he's just been negative like the entire time. So.
I can't help that you guys suck at this game, alright? Can't help it.
Yeah, this is literally basically how he sounds like after every game that we play. So you guys are just awful, unbelievable, as we might have some initiation here, but Witch Slayer manages to sneak in, grab that Invis rune, so good job by him at least getting some rune control here. Overall, this game, in all honesty, even though the score looks relatively even, it's 18-17, really, it's S2s to lose, even with their cheesy item pickups and all of that. You do see that Nomad's now going for a Soul's Bulwark, which will definitely help him out, and it's just going to be a real struggle for the community team, unfortunately.
The sad thing is, if he didn't get the portal key, he could have had both items by now. Wow. Complete burst damage there. I mean, Bubbles gonna get chased. There's the ultimate from good old Integer on Hellbringer. Gonna get the kill on Hammerstorm. And I do believe somebody bought back. Maybe not. Oh no.
Oh, nobody? Yes.
Witch Slayer is dead. I guess Engineer did. Oh, I remember Engineer bought back in that one fight like 5 fights ago. So just never noticed it till now. Looks like they're gonna be pushing this lane. Soul's Bulwark is picked up, but it's on the chick on the courier, so it's gonna have to be delivered before actually taking the effect here. It's obviously gonna help with the pushing, but again, feel like Nomad is just trolling, basically. Magnus is taking a lot of stuns. Good ultimate from Engineer just to block people off, but it's really not going to help Magnus at the end of the day. So 4 dead for Legion. Hellbring ends up dying to the tower somehow. They're going to at least get this tower, if not the melee racks, and although they're attacking the range racks. Yeah. But well, they say a little bit too long. Parasite's going to have to destroy. Nice ultimate from which they're going to get the kill. And I saw another portal key being picked up on somebody at the corner of my screen. I don't know who it was. Check that out in a minute. Hammerstone just pounding away at the very, very, very tanky Electrician. Looks like somebody will get the kill. Engineer actually got the last hit, surprisingly enough, with no DPS items whatsoever. Portal key did not assist in that whatsoever, but Midas is going to TP away, and that's going to break up that fight. But like I was saying earlier, as who picked up the portal key? I guess he hasn't picked it. I'm guessing it's Magnus. No, Magnus doesn't have enough money yet.
I have no idea.
We'll see. As wow, Bubble's getting chased by Mr. Nomad, who's going to get stunned and raped by Engineer. So
there we are.
Helping out his worthless teammates that, unfortunately for him, have been pretty worthless.
Alright, and here's the deal, okay? 15-4, obviously he did fine in mid. Bottom lane, even though they struggled at the farming portion, they didn't really lose it. But then you look at top, in a 2v1, with Parasite ganking a couple times but not really being overly active, they are a combined 3 and 11. And if you look across the board, you have a 5 and 2 Electrician who's in that lane. And Electrician is, well, he's not the top farmer in the game by like 3 because he died, but still, that matchup was the one that really, really, really hurt them in this game.
Yeah, that's why Bubble should have went top, because, yeah. Yeah. So Portal Key on Hammerstone, which I completely disagree with this particular game. You don't have any DPS at all. Literally, nothing. I mean, Engineer is your DPS right now. Hammerstone, I guess, is still your DPS with just the ultimate, but you have enough portal keys. I mean, Magnus just got his as well. So that's 3 portal keys. Bubbles should have gotten 1 instead of whatever he's getting. Nothing, apparently. He's just not farming very well. But Hammerstorm really needed to go, a shrunken head. And I mean, anything against codexes at this point would be a good thing. Nullstone and shrunken head, essentially. Look at Hammerstorm, he still hasn't even leveled up Mighty Swing. So to him, those changes made 0 difference. He's still going complete stats over Mighty Swing, which is unfortunate.
I mean, they do have a couple Blink Daggers on their team now. So, they have initiation. But unfortunately for them, they don't really have the map control and the DPS to take advantage of that at this point.
Well, they can't follow up any. They can initiate the crap out of Hellborn, but they can't do anything once they've initiated. Now, with Magnus actually getting portal, that's actually a bigger deal because he can actually get his ult up in this situation. He's done. He's going to have action in the river here. Wow, Hellborn is decimated. And there's the ultimate from Magnus, going to hit absolutely nobody, but that's okay. Just better safe than sorry. Killing the corpses, kind of taunting them in a way. So 2 kills out of that.
I think that's the first double nemesis that I've seen in quite a long time. Throwing it down both Gnome and Integer in that little gank there. There's Electrician. Mr. Tank himself has a blink coming in from Hammerstorm, manages to take off that grip right off the bat, but unfortunately, I mean, they just don't do enough damage to really do anything to Electrician at this point in the game. And we might have counter initiation actually, not counter initiation, more initiation as Diva's gonna come in and do a lot more damage. There is the Codex.
Nice Codex, bro.
Yeah, really helping out from Parasite. Let's see, what level is that? Level 3 Codex. So, able to KS people, at the very least.
Yeah, and Midas has a level 5 Codex. So they're really Codex happy today. Nomad does have that Soul's Bulwark. I don't think we mentioned that he was the one that picked it up, but I mean that's obvious that we've been talking about that even before he picked it up. So now Shieldbreaker is going to be the next item, and I believe it's like 2100 for level 1, so not too far away from that. And when that happens, that's going to hurt the Legion. I mean, basically what this is coming down to is 2 factors on the Legion team. For any sign of a comeback, you need Magnus to get off some amazing ultimates, as there were more initiation this time on Parasite. You see the amazing initiation. It's enough to kill 1 person, which is good, but you've used a bunch of spells in the meantime. And the second thing that other than Magnus' ult, is Hammer getting something. Like his ultimate's going to do damage on its own, but he needs to get something.
Yeah, and this is kind of like the S2 version of like the throwing little portion of the game. Not that they're throwing at all, but the only reason that they're getting these like various kills and picking people off is because they find like 1 person, they blink in with like their entire team, and then they kill them. And it takes like half their spells. Now, if S2 ever decides to be like, hey, let's just go 5-man somewhere, or just push through their jungle and gank people, then that's going to be a lot harder for the community team to really do anything with.
Yeah, well, Hammerstorm's just gonna... I mean, if he had Mighty Swing, I think neutraling would be a little bit easier, buddy. Bon bao. Just letting you know.
You know, he just... not a big fan of Mighty Swing. He's more of a bunter.
Yeah. Doesn't want to push those lanes. He doesn't want to push those lanes that are pushed back to his base. So I guess that's... As, I mean, the lane pushing by Midas alone is seriously ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It looks like they're going to get this tower one way or another. Is it going to get denied is the question. Do they even attempt? No. They do not attempt to deny. Now initiation from Hammerstorm with that Blink Dagger. Going to initiate on Midas. Taking a lot of damage. Going to get the kill before he can really do anything. There's a Hellbringer out because he's outside of... No, he's not. He actually died in the middle, so he's going to die in the middle. But he did get the ult up regardless, so that's a good thing. Nomad's going to try to run away here. The Electrician really doesn't take any damage. Seriously takes no damage for all of that. Nomad comes back with that portal key, getting the kill on Witchslayer, and Bubble's probably going to be just the same luck there. So, after an initial, I mean,
had a good
it was
try,
good initiation.
You know?
I mean, it was 3 for 2. You know, let's be fair. It's 3 for 2 exchange. Nomad is very, very low. As nice move from Nomad, going to get away. Going to chase this Hellbringer, or this... what is that?
Oh, Magnus.
Engineer.
You silly little...
Silly
Lava
goose.
Scorpion.
Lava Scorpion.
Well, yeah, and I think they did the smart thing there, which is basically they completely ignored Electrician and jumped past him to try and take out the rest of their team. Didn't really work out too well for them in the end because of a combination of factors, but I think they had the right idea there. You know, it was a good attempt. Well, just leave it at that. As looks like Engineer is starting to go with a little bit more of the oh crap, I actually need to carry people later in the game build. Picking up a Firebrand at this point in time, so to get a little bit more DPS.
Whoa, who? Engineer,
yeah.
Well, I guess I can't blame him, because his team's
You might as well try
so
something,
hard.
you know? Like,
Yeah.
doesn't really have much of a choice.
I mean, Mr. Hammerstorm over here has a Mighty Blade, so I'm guessing Shrunken Head, which I hope so. Now, if he had Mighty Swing, and he was actually, they didn't fail bottom lane, he would easily have a Shrunken Head by now, and if he didn't buy that portal key, easily have a DPS item on top of that. So, and that I think would have been a huge change here, as Magnus is going to blink him, he's going to get stunned by Midas, and looks like that's going to break that up. But I keep coming back to this Hammerstorm; it's really bothering me.
Yeah, Mighty Swing is like the new portal key for you.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyways,
Electrician did not go Nullstone. He went
didn't.
Cheapstake.
Oh, I think that's a good move for him overall. I mean, as far as items go, it's just Codex is a sheepstick. Looks like Integer probably going for maybe a sheepstick as well on Hellbringer. And nothing too crazy on the rest of their team. Not sure if Nomad's going to be going for a Frostburn or looking to finish off maybe something like a Shrunken Head later in the game. Both items that would work okay for him, although a little disappointed that he didn't go for the traditional Shield Breaker, Soul's Bulwark build.
They're winning so much right now, he's like, you know, I'll just do a troll build. Anything that isn't a Soul's Bulwark Shield Breaker combination is a troll on Nomad. That's my understanding. As now we got 2 level 5 codexes officially, one on Parasite, one on Midas, and they're going to use that to kill Kongor, of course, because that's a great Kongor item. Just agree with me.
Yeah. Very excellent
And
point.
unfortunately, there are no wards up, so at least you're not going to be able to see this at all. It should be a pretty easy Kongor kill. And as you see, Midas' stuns do work on Kongor.
I think this is like the biggest, really, like the main way you can kind of tell, like, is this a competitive game or not, is really more about vision than anything else. You can see right now that really the Legion team has struggled a lot with keeping their wards up in good placement. And on the other hand, although S2 had, you know, a reasonably well-covered Kongor area, you know, a lot of times when you'll see competitive teams go for Kongor, they'll have like 3 or 4 Words of Revelation kind of spread out, making sure that they have no vision of that area at all. Oh, hey! There's a little word of revelation. Yeah, go Legion team.
Nice.
Clearly, they must be listening.
Pretty sure that's been there for... Oh wait, it's fresh. It's a fresh ward. But there's no other ward to actually counter with. Interested to see what happened there. Hellbringer picks up a mana tube, so definitely going for Sheepsick as you were saying. So 2,700 away, probably won't get it in time. I'm guessing this game's probably going to be over, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, well, the Hellbringer team is heading over to that top lane, so I think hopefully we'll see some action there.
Oh my god, another blink guy, or portal key. This time I wish
they're going all out with the
Bubble's the only one. He's feeling left out, I think. But Geo's now on Engineer, and Electrician finishes his Barrier Idol. Very, very tanky, and not too much Legion can do. Magnus has to get a perfect ult. Engineer has to get a perfect ult.
Well, this is it. You can tell they're kind of getting ready to set up here. A little bit of a sheep on the Parasite, but not too much. I don't think as we have initiation coming in, maybe Electrician's going to try and do stuff. There's the combination of blinks, but wow, great job popping that Barrier Idol. Ran a lot of the damage.
Are you serious, Magnus?
Well, Magnus
Are you serious?
completely has a little bit of a gap there, and they have to head back to the base if he even survives. Does manage to barely make it. Unfortunately, Hammerstone is not so fortunate. Gets caught out, and Parasite ends up taking him down with the Codex. Meanwhile, Diva's just hacking away, taking down both racks. They're probably going to see them head over to mid, where there's no tower. And
so,
that really wraps up this game.
Magnus stunned in, and then chose to use his ultimate in front of Electrician, and Electrician stunned him right away. So instead of actually using the portal key, which he picked up for that sole reason, because of his ultimate, I won't harp on it too much because this game is over. But it's just unfortunate to see that.
Big plays by Magnus coming in here.
It's the kill.
Hey,
double tap.
Give him credit for that.
That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of burst damage right there. Tell you what. And they should be able to get both racks here if they actually want to. Which there's going to blink in with that portal key. And, wow, nice initiation for Bubbles, who does not have a portal key as we're talking about, killing Midas. But that should be about that, and I don't think there can be any racks here now. So, wow, Engineer actually TP's in and uses his Geos. Do a little bit more DPS to Hellbringer. Hellbringer's going to get sheeped by a very ballsy Witch Slayer who had 30 HP. And will go down.
So, of course, on our Engineer watch, now 18 and 5. So
that's amazing. I'm seriously amazed. That's
still locking it down on his his end.
Look at that. He has 0 skills in Spider Mines. Wonder why that is.
Because it's an important part of his skill set.
Yeah. Now, okay, so I want to clarify what we're saying here. That skill in general, we're not saying is bad. We're saying it's bad on Engineer. I think it's a fine skill to have on a hero that it actually makes sense on.
Techies?
Yes. You can make a Techies clone type hero that is basically used for trolling. That's a great troll skill. But Engineer in general is just an amazing initiator. Doesn't really draw people in, necessarily, into the mines.
Well, I have to say also, there's a certain satisfaction to working to place like 1,000,000 mines in some random spot on the map, and then have someone walk into them and just get a random kill. You know, you're not even paying attention, you're just like farming away. And, oh, there's my 8,000,000 mines that went off. But obviously, as we've gone over about 8 million times over the course of the last 3 months or however long it's been, yeah. They basically took a skill that synergized with a lot of his other abilities and then added in mines, which don't. So, you know, I think that's... I would imagine that eventually that's something that S2 would probably address.
So, we officially have Team Blink Dagger, Portal Key, Team Portal Key.
Alright, that's all 5 Portal Keys. I hope we see some sort of like synchronized like Portal Key.
I hope they run in and just die without using the Portal Key. His initiation now by Bubbles. Shrunken Egg Abuse, I know he's going to deal out a ton of damage to that Hammerstorm. Nice ultimate from Magnus. Nice combination with Engineer there. Nobody dead yet. Keeping them in place with the Engineer. No, Midas taking quite a bit of damage. There you see the Bubbles getting absolutely demolished by that Codex, but he will live to see another day here. Is he going to initiate more on Hellbringer? So 1 for 2 exchange, make that 2 for 2. So a very even fight. Again, like if they'd just done this earlier when the game wasn't actually over, they might actually have a chance to come back here. especially with the case that S2 is picking up troll items for the most part. And the fact that how many Mystic Vestments do we have on the Legion team? Let's see, we have one. What do you think about that, Mr. Stickler on Mystic Vestments against 2 Codex level 5s?
Do I really even need to answer that question, or
are you trying to be positive or something? Is that what's going on? Usually be all over the place. Like, it's you.
Well, you know, again, that's one of those items where I'll harp on people not picking it up in a lot of situations, and this is probably one of them. But I'm not in the game, so it's like in which they're getting locked down and gets codexed in the face. Gosh, just so much damage.
I forget who was standing next to him at this point. Just everything blurs together when you're getting raped. But somebody blinked away, leaving poor old Bubbles, or poor old Witchslayer to die. And
well, yeah, and the hilarious thing is, I mean, just look at the hero score overall. And it's tied right now, although it won't be tied for long. But, yeah, it looks like, you know, the Legion team clearly winning up 34 to 33. Oh wait, they're getting absolutely destroyed.
Yeah. Kind of a fun game, though.
Yeah,
got to see some Codex action.
The Legion, they're holding on. You know, they haven't lost that mid-Rax, although they probably should have twice now. And they're at least making a game out of it, which is more than we can say about some other certain community players that we want to harp on.
Looks like Hammerstorm's finally going to be finishing this Shrunken Head in another 50 gold. Just in time.
Yeah.
Any comments?
Very interesting, you know?
Oh my god, Bubble.
I'm so happy that he has a level on his side swing.
He still doesn't?
No, he does.
Oh, he does now.
Yeah.
Hey, look at you. Look at you, bro. Very cuddly. All those levels. Let's see. Actually, he just hit another level, and there's another level in Mighty Swing. So, big time, big player here. We got 2 levels in Mighty Swing, a Shrunken Head on him as we speak, a portal key, of course, which perfectly synergizes with the rest of his team. Well, actually, I'm actually not being sarcastic there, but still.
I feel like that's one of those things where you're starting to be sarcastic, and then you realize it was actually good. You're like, oh, no.
It is good. But
take it all back.
Not to get back to this, now, if he had not bought Portal Key, he could have gotten a Shield Breaker for about the same price.
Yeah, again, I think in the end, this is just the game that S2 is just looking to figure out the best way to wrap it up, and that'll be that. Unfortunately, since they did lose that top Rax, it's going to be very hard, especially with no carry, to come back into this game. You know, Engineer did his or her best, but don't think it's going to be enough.
Yeah, and it looks like we got an awesome item, which we don't see enough in Barbed Armor on Electrician. And that is... See, that's another item that I never get, but I feel like is one of the best items in the game. Kind of like how I feel Puzzle Box is one of the best items in the game. It's just... It's ridiculous. I remember we won a game the other day, although it may have not been hard. We won a game the other day because of that item, and it's very underrated, not good enough. And there's certain heroes it gets stuck on, you think, like in cookie cutter builds, like a Hellbringer, for example, who does not happen to have it. But it's just an excellent item. We have Initiation here on Electrician and Midas by that Magnus, and there is the Hellbringer all coming out. Hammer's actually absolutely beating Midas there. Nice ultimate synergy there from Magnus and Mr. Engineer. There you see the Barbed Armor going off, and he's gonna have to try to run away here, but Nomad's still alive, has DD activated, doing a ton of damage. Only 2 alive for the Legion at this point, and make that 1.
Yeah, I think that should just about wrap it up there. That's finally something where they all got together and did stuff. At this poor Engineer is like, well, I'm still alive.
They were waiting for Shield Breaker
can't do anything.
and double damage on Nomad. That's what they were waiting for. But, I mean, some good ults there at the end. I just felt like if they had just done that earlier, as Magnus is going to absolutely insta-give there. Unfortunately for him, no Mystic Vestments. No Mystic Vestment for you.
The Hellborn destroyed a Legion tower.
Yeah, and at least they put up a decent fight. They really just did not have the lineup to win this late game, and unfortunately at 45 minutes, it's kind of close to the late game part of the game.
Yeah, but shout out to Maravinci for being a pro engineer. Very impressed with your play.
He's Italian.
Maravinci, yeah. How else can you pronounce it? Merovingian. That sounds like white trash. I don't want to sound like white trash. I don't want to assume he's white trash. He's Italian. Probably Asian. I don't know. And there goes the world tree. So GG to all involved.